Good morning, everybody. It's Robert here with the Hustle Nation. We're all about some financial independence. Why? So we have some freedom. Right now, we got some hustle in the mud going on, and we're about to take the dogs for a walk. I've got 5 truths that I have learned that I'm going to pass on and hopefully make your life better and accelerate your growth potential and also your financial success. So listen to each one of them. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you think. Is the office rocker or dang, that redneck's smart? You tell me. You make the call. Thumbs up, thumbs down, but whatever. Like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. All right. Got a little more hustle in the mud going on and everything. This is basically, it was a huge epiphany for me. It was a life-changing moment. It caused me to reevaluate most everything that I was doing and the process that I was using by proceeding forward with whatever it is that I was trying to accomplish. And that is quite simply the golden rule. But it's probably not as you think. Or, pardon me, what we've been taught. The real golden rule is this: the one with the gold makes the rules. But that's really not biblical, but that's really not nice, but that's really, it's real and it's the truth, okay? Here's the thing. I always thought, you know, if you're a good person, you're this, everything, good stuff's going to happen. Well, guess what? There's a lot of great people out there that bad stuff does happen to. All right? That's just part of reality. The thing about it, though, is that those with the money are those that are in power. They're the ones that we want to basically give us our freedom. I get that freedom from others $1 at a time. Okay? And then I stack some of those up. And then before you know it, I buy another house. I invest some, I do this, I do that, and now I've got something coming in that gives me the opportunity and choices to be able to live my life in a manner that I think is worth living. Here's the thing, you're always going to be a slave to somebody else until you have financial independence. Until you're able to basically say, hey, look, it doesn't matter if I show up at work or not, I'm going to be okay. And I'm not saying okay in the sense that, you know, yeah, I'll go get another job or something like that. But to be able to say, you know what, I really don't have to be here because you've got enough money in the bank, you've got enough passive income that comes in each month that you're able to pay your bills and not rely on somebody else. That's when you finally learn the golden rule. Okay? And the thing about it is that, and I'm not talking bad about anybody that they go to and you like it and everything like that. I think that's wonderful. Okay? The thing about it is that as long as we have bills that have got to be paid and we're fearful of losing whatever it is, if those bills don't get paid, i.e. your house gets foreclosed on, your car gets repossessed, whatever those are, then we're always a slave to somebody else, okay? So the thing about it is, the one with the gold makes the rules. Once you get to a point where you're not having to show up at that job, you choose to show up at that job, you're in a whole different class. Very few people will ever experience that. I did at one time about, 2021, about 17, 20 years ago, okay? I worked at a foundry. I was in the maintenance department. We worked 1 day straight, 1 day off. 13 days straight, 1 day off, okay? Made great money, putting a lot of money in a savings account every week, all right? The thing about it is that everybody else in maintenance made really great money as well, all right? 2 things. We made good money, and we didn't have any time to spend it because we were working, all right? So therefore, all of them were in a position, they had to make that money. Small rural town in Alabama, only one other place that paid anywhere close we're making, and it was very hard to get on at that paper mill. So the thing is that guess what? They're all locked in because they've made it to where they have to make that kind of money to be able to survive, for all the bills to get paid, the car payments, the house payments, all that stuff, okay? I wasn't in that position. My bills were $600 a month. I had a house payment of $200. I didn't have a car payment, okay? So for me to exist, all I had to make was $600 a month. The day that I went in and gave my notice to the guy in maintenance, the head of maintenance, and said, in 2 weeks I'm done, he just looked at me and said, people don't quit this job. And I said, I am. I'd saved up enough money to be able to finish the last 2 semesters of college, and I was going to go full time and knock them out. So I was no longer a slave to that job for a period of time. That is by far the most incredible feeling that you will, or one of the most incredible feelings you will ever have, is when you're able to say, I'm no longer going to be here in 2 weeks. Have a good day. That's the first rule that I learned. The golden rule. The one with the gold makes the rules. Rule number 2 that I learned. Money is everywhere. I learned that the easiest thing you'll ever do is make money. The hardest thing you'll ever do is make it work for you. And quite simply, I mean by taking it and buying assets that will actually put money in your pocket. This whole world that we live in, and especially the United States, we are totally about instant gratification. We're about total consumerism as far as, I need a big screen TV, I need new cabinets, I need new flooring, I need new curtains, I need this, I need that, I need new clothes, I need, whatever it is, okay? We're all about that. And those are all basically things that put any money in our pocket. Okay, they're not going to pay you anything, I really wanted that diesel truck that I got. I've been wanting one for years. And I did not want to be on my deathbed having worked as hard as I do and say, you know what, I wish I had bought that truck. So I made myself a promise. I said, I get 2 more rental properties that are cash flowing, have residents in them. I will go ahead and buy that truck, because those 2 properties make the payment on that truck and there's money left over. And that's what I did. But I didn't get the truck until that came about. And guess what? Those properties will still be once that truck is paid off and I no longer have that payment. What a concept. Oh my gosh. So the thing about it is, take money and make it work for you, okay? There's a lot of people out there that have large cash sitting in a bank. And that makes them feel warm and fuzzy because they have access to it. But guess what? Cash is trash. They are going broke quicker than they can make money, because the cost of living goes up percent. Then we've probably had 10 to 15% inflation this year, and that bank is paying you less than 1% on that money that's sitting in the bank. That's absolutely crazy. It's ludicrous. And don't tell me that you're financially responsible when you leave your money sitting in a bank. It's happening. There's other ways to make more money that are more profitable for you, okay? Again, you have to look at this whole thing that we operate in. There's so much opportunity out there for us to be able to engage in. If you got a smartphone, there's no reason that you should not be a millionaire. You can start a YouTube channel. Look, Redneck Robert starts a YouTube channel, okay? I get about $150 a month off this thing, all right? And anybody can do that. There's people that are giving financial advice that don't have more than $5,000 in the bank, and they got 100,000 followers. There's on Instagram, @mybest159. Go and watch him. He's all about real estate and everything like that. That man is getting in the trenches. He's doing things. He's using these hands. He knows what it takes, okay? But he's scaled his business to a point where he's not so much as hands-on anymore and everything. And that's something that he preaches time about. He said, watch out for the follower that you're taking advice from, because they might not really know what they're talking about. And I'm here to tell you, if you're involved in real estate and you haven't managed a property, you haven't fixed a drain line, you haven't put, a new roof on it, I'm not saying actually don't, but showed up. Know what it looks like, know what it is when you have a roof that's done correctly as opposed to incorrectly. But you really need to have some hands-on so that when you have a good property manager, when you have a bad one. Why? Because you've done it. That's the whole thing is there's money all over, okay? This thing about, it's so hard to get and everything. It's not. It's hard for you to get off the couch and do something. There you go. Rule number 2. Rule number 3, if you want to do anything substantial in life, then 9 times out of 10, actually 99 out of 100, you're going to have to involve other people. Some way, somehow, you're going to have to use other people to help you get to the point of where you want to be at. The better you are at dealing with others, you're going to get to that point, and more likely you are to reach your goal. That is something that's very difficult for me. My ego gets in the way. I'm an intelligent person, and any topic that I speak on, I know, generally speaking, the ins and outs of, if you hear me talk about it on a very often, or if you hear me talk about it often, okay? And the thing about it is that I'm not opposed to other people saying, hey, that's incorrect. What I am opposed to is people saying that's incorrect and they're speaking out of total ignorance. They don't know. And it was like the other day, this lady wants to get a roof from me, and I asked her, I said, okay, so have you already had estimates? Well, yes. And I said, okay, well, where do I need to come in at? I can get you, tell you if I can do it real quick, and how soon do you want it? And she was like, well, time is a factor. And I was like, okay, help me out. Okay, have you had other estimates? And she was like, well, yeah, from $5,000 to $9,000 and everything. I said, okay, so where do we need to be at for you to get this roof done? And I'll get it done in less than 2 weeks. And she was like, well, you tell me, you're the estimator. And at that point, I'm like, she doesn't know if I'm going to give her a great deal. She doesn't know if I'm going to give her, try to rip her off. Motivated buyers, generally speaking, are going to be like, if I can get this price, I'll go ahead and make it happen today, okay? And that's very few people, all right? So basically, we got to a point where she, even though I said I could get it done in the time frame and below the price that, the highest price that she got, she doesn't want to go with us. And, that was on me, and I could have done things very different, okay? And I say all of this because every day I spend no less than 30 minutes trying to improve my sales skills, trying to improve my communication skills, trying to improve my relational skills on becoming more empathetic to the people that I'm around on a daily basis, okay? And the more that you master that, the better off you're going to be. Rule number 3, you're going to have to use people. Get along with them. Learn it. Number 4, educate yourself financially. Oh, I know a lot about money. No, you don't. Okay? Generally speaking, 99.9% of us are extremely ignorant when it comes to money. You ask people, what's a Roth IRA? What's a traditional IRA? What is term life? What is whole life? Do you need all of this coverage with homeowners insurance? Medical insurance? And I mean, the list goes on and on. What's an index fund? What's the 500? What's a blue chip stock? What's an annuity? How does real estate pay you? All of these things, okay? And, just as I'll say to anybody, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. Being self-employed is not for everybody. I'll say that again. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. Being self-employed is not for everybody. There's a saying that if you need motivational quotes to get motivated, you should not be an entrepreneur or self-employed. They sound great, they're cute to read. However, if you need them to keep on going, most of the time, it's going to be very difficult for you to have anything that's sustaining. Again, the thing about it is that we start doing some things, hopefully you become successful, you have more money, but it's not time to spend it. It's not time to enjoy it just yet. We have to do something first. We have to take that money and put it into circulation somewhere else to where it starts making money. And then the money that it's made, and then the initial deposit that we made, it makes money on that as well. It's what we call compound interest rolling over, okay? And the thing about it is that if you do this over a long period of time, you're going to have a big, huge snowball, okay? And the thing about it is, though, is that we need our money to work as best as possible for us. Many, many different avenues out there. Stocks, bonds, annuities, real estate, businesses, buying franchise, all kinds of different things, okay? Research it. Research, look at what does it cost me to get into owning a McDonald's, becoming a franchisee? What does it cost for me to own a Subway sandwich shop? What does it cost? How do you become a operator for Chick-fil-A? Read those things, figure them out, go on the internet, do some research, okay? How do you buy stock without using a broker? Okay, it's nothing to freak out about. People do it millions of times a day. It's easy. Do a little research, okay? The thing about it is that we have to educate ourselves about our money so that we're able to sustain it, hold on to it, and make it grow. I assure you of this. If you have a good life and you have more money, you're going to have a better life. If you have a bad life and you don't have any money, it's going to be still bad. If you're a jerk and you have more money, you're going to be a bigger jerk. Money's not going to change you. And I can assure you of this. If you can't learn how to hang on to $100, $100,000, you're not going to be able to hang on to. Why? Because you're not the person that can hang on to money. Whether it's $5, $10, or 100,000. And I assure you of this, even I start thinking about if I had a large chunk of change, 250, 500,000, what are some of the things that I would start to do? Well, that's a poor person mindset. They're already living out the fantasy of what to do with money, okay? And my next response, I'm going to put it to work for me. It was funny, we were talking about, I estimate roofs. I sell roofs for a living. Part of what I do. Things have been real good because we had a hurricane 1.5 years, 2 years ago. All right. There's a lot of people that made a whole bunch of money. All right. A lot of salesmen that are broke now. They were living high on the hog. They were getting some big fat paychecks every week. Okay. I don't have a whole lot of money in the bank. I bought 8 houses in the last 1.5 years. Those houses will continue to pay me long time from now. Buddy of mine, Rick Jarman, God rest his soul, talked about, he's in the real estate game, had like 180, 200 properties before he passed. He remembers seeing a duplex like 60 years ago that is still rented today. That means that property's been paying somebody over time for the last 60 years. Would you like a paycheck, some money in your mailbox on the first of the month for the next 60 years? Hello! That's what I'm talking about. Educate yourself. Trust me on this one. You need to do it, okay? Even read about the things that you don't enjoy, that you think you'll never get into. Just become educated with them, all right? There you go. Number 5. This is the reason that all of us are not more successful than where we are at right now today, okay? I know it's like you're expecting the cure for cancer or something of that nature. This is mind-blowing once I came to grips with this. The thing about it is, it has to do with your emotions. If you notice that the most successful people, the people that we really are always in the news about things, generally speaking, the most successful people are having all of this quality, and you'll know what exactly it is that I'm talking about, because we'll just take Elon Musk, okay? The man's absolutely brilliant. Doesn't seem to have 1 ounce of fear in his body, in his bones, none. I don't even think he's got fear underneath the pillow on the bed, okay? Thing about it is, and then you look at some other people and it's like, they seem to be real socially awkward. They don't seem to be able to get along. It's like, they're like, and everything. And the thing about it is, though, is that these people, have the least amount of emotions that affect them. Say it again. These people have the least amount of emotion that affects them. To become successful, it's a very logical process. If you study it, the next thing that you're supposed to do is there immediately, okay? I've learned a tremendous amount with selling roofs. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing that I learned is how much our emotions motivate us in certain regards. And the thing about it is that there's nothing fun about buying a roof. It's not hot. It doesn't look good in heels. You're not going to pop the clutch and do a wheelie. You're not going to pull up to, the Sonic drive-in and everybody, ooh and ah over your new roof. It doesn't look good. Your, arm like a new purse or anything like that. It's not beautiful like a new shower and, remodeling the kitchen. It's not. Nobody's going to call you and say, hey, Robert, come over. We're having a barbecue and we're going to look at my new roof. It just doesn't happen. But the thing about it is that a roof protects everything that's near and dear to our hearts because everything below that roof. And so the thing about it is that the emotion with spending that money, because it's a lot easier to get somebody to spend money on a Corvette, on a Harley, on a new kitchen, Coach purse, whatever, okay? It's a lot easier to get people to spend money on that than it would be a roof, okay? The only time that you have anybody that spends money quick on a roof is, generally speaking, it's somebody else's money, and number two, they got some bad leaks. If you go over to their house during a rainstorm and they got 5-gallon buckets catching water on the floor, they're going to sign that contract muy pronto. They're going to make it happen, okay? A day like right now, it's like 65 degrees. It's like California weather here in Pensacola. It's absolutely gorgeous. I took the dogs for a walk down by the water. It's unbelievable. You think anybody's thinking about buying a roof today? Hell no! No need to, okay? And so I'm saying all of this to you in the sense that you get your emotions in check, okay? Don't let them drive you. There's very few people that you can say, screw you, and then get them to turn around and hand you money, okay? I'll give you an example. Rolex watch, $12,000, okay? How many people do you think you can say you're ugly, you suck, you're fat, you're stupid, now I need you to give me the money for this watch? They're going to walk out of your store. Now what if you discount it to $8,000? Well, that's close to 30-35% off. They might, okay? What counted that $12,000 watch to $4,000? You can cuss me out. You can do anything. You can have a phone call while I'm paying you the money and be rude, and I would pay you. Why? Because the value of the discount that I'm receiving is far greater than the bad treatment or the way that you make me feel. So it reached a point, okay? And again, I use this to illustrate that having to do with our emotions and you being able to control yours and asking yourself and being honest, where exactly am I at in this process? Just the same as having to do with that lady, there was something that changed with me. And, and I go back and I replay these situations where I've lost the sale, okay? Because there was something going on that I was not with and I should have been asking more questions, okay? There's a dance that occurs with sales, all right? And basically you got to go back and forth and everything, and you got to do this in a manner before you can actually go in for what we call the close, okay? Getting the sale. If you rush that process, then it doesn't happen. If you take too long, then it's probably not going to happen either, okay? So I say all of this to evaluate yourself where you're at emotionally, okay? If people are constantly making you mad, hurting your feelings, pissing you off on a very regular basis, there's two things that are either going to be taking place. One, you need to find a better quality of people to be around, or number two, you're wearing your emotions on your sleeve and you need to sack up, you need to grow some, you need to get tough. Do something different. The thing about it is that life is not always going to be fair. You get a choice. You get to be rich or you get to be right. I am trying more to choose the option of being rich instead of being right. Call me what you want. You're ugly. You're stupid. You're from the South. I don't care. Check, please. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what motivates. Okay? Again, keep your emotions in check. You're going to do much better. It's Robert. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching my channel. Have a wonderful day.